Hey folks, I'm Nev from Nev's Tech Bits, otherwise known as your friendly neighborhood basement dweller. Don't worry, ma'am, I am from the internet, and today let's go back. 1986. There's so much crazy things happening in the world today. Look at those guys in 1986 looking at us in the eyes and being like, holy heck, what did that guy see? Man, maybe we're moving so fast in this little unit that we're traveling through time. But anyways, legit, let's just go back and not think about politics. Oh, they were trying to get from England to France. I wonder if they ever managed to do that. Oh man, I love this ad where one old Ford truck picks up another old Ford truck and then drives it up a hill. Like, let's face it, unless that thing was welded or really well tight on there, that thing would just slide right off the back. But for a magazine advertisement, for something that you just be sitting there probably reading while you were waiting for something, and that seems to be when you were reading these things, when you were waiting for the most part. And we used to have so much time between things where we were waiting, where it's okay to make advertisements for something as mundane as a vice grip, make a image retrofuturism of a shoe being brought together. Not only the magazine itself, but the things within it couldn't be appreciated in this day and age. And people in the future looking back at this being like, why would this individual be advertising just like this? This doesn't kind of click with how things go. Okay, so these first alert lights were a big deal. You could plug them directly into the wall, and they would always work when you need them. It's just the batteries eventually die. What were those, NiCad batteries? Ah, yes, the redwood chaw. Us as white people, we get together and find a river and do some chaw and talk with Jesus. Jesus would prefer redwood tobacco chaw. And you can tell that this is a newer magazine because Buddy's got personal protective equipment on. If you go back to the 50s and 60s, you wouldn't see that so much. Nothing sexier than a giant chainsaw. I want to go back to a time when I didn't know what one of those things were. I mean, I remember hearing it on Captain Planet and they were talking about it, but I had never actually experienced it. I think as a Canadian, I think the closest thing that we ever seen, things are going on in the Middle East and things were going on in Europe with Ireland, remember? But I am legitimately surprised that they even have this in a magazine, advertising this in a magazine. Of course, this is probably one of those things that are try to hook you by exciting you, right? And you can send out for more books. I have to say, reading, unless you're really good at it, reading seems like the kind of thing you could make a lot of mistakes on, and it takes too damn long to read versus hearing. It takes too damn long to read. I'm not saying that if you it's so it sounds like if you read it makes you more of an intelligent person. Your IQ goes up. If you want to bring your IQ up, simply keep reading books, but at the same time, while reading makes our brains bigger, the absorption of information isn't necessarily the absorption of information isn't necessarily 100%. I am sorry, guys, but wow. Okay, so I bust a lot of balls for these recruitment things, but this one, whoa. Kiss your grandma goodbye. No, this isn't some far gone foreign jungle. This is your own state. It's you and your buddy getting together, putting the flowers in your hat, and blowing away the enemy from orbit. But legitimately, I will never be as manly as this dude over here. And I'm wondering if he dropped that in the drink, would that thing still work? I I want to fire one of those so bad. Is that that's an M60, right? Sorry, I'm getting a little bit military now. Now I know everyone says that with the AK, those things don't jam up. Just don't get too much mud in them. But with the AK, the accuracy isn't there, right? So I wonder if you dropped an M16 in the water, would she still be okay? Man, even back then, women just wanted taller men. Oh my god, guys, my grandma had one of those flashlights. And, she didn't have a lot of things, so it's not like it's a fancy thing, but that's where she got it from. Oh my god, that's adorable. So what probably happened is my grandpa fixed somebody's doorknob and got a free flashlight out of it, I think. He was the cooler of the Orangeville Hospital. He was the Patrick Swayze of the emergency room in Orangeville, Ontario, way back in the day. If I show that full picture, I will get demonetized. And it's kind of interesting in America, not only that everyone has access to guns, but most of the Americans I know have gun bags. And it's as if, yes, it's beautiful and terrifying at the same time. I want to be able to shoot all of the guns. I am so happy that the mentally unstable people down the street don't have access to guns. Even if, geez, if you flood your society with guns, it just gets easier to find them. When you're not all that mentally there. But what's amazing and funny is in America, on YouTube, I can't show that full picture. But let's focus on something a little more positive, maybe. The donkey weather vane. Remember back in the day when everybody had a whole bunch of these things out front, and you just pass by certain houses and you'd see people had straight out had like 50 of these things blowing in the wind and everything was moving and so much was going on. And y'all remember when cassette tapes were a really big deal? Only Bushnell brings in the emotion. You want to see your football player crying for his mommy? These are the types of goggles, spectacles you need. Huh. The contrast between the two. Of course, so we have what looks like a Schwinn border. No, Browning. I have a feeling I'm supposed to know who that brand is. And then we got the new version. Got your face right down there. Man, that looks like hell on the back. I mean, I'm sure going downhill you would get a lot of advantage, but what about the rest of the time? Huh, check out that television set. That's really something. It's amazing that kids these days have no appreciation for TVs. They don't really care. But in the 80s and 90s, if you didn't have a TV, like you had to have a black and white TV at least, or there was something up with you. I don't know anyone in the 80s or the 90s who didn't have a TV. I wonder if it has something to do with lonesomeness. So apparently being lonesome is just as bad as smoking 15 cigarettes a day, like if you have a highly lonesome life. And I understand how just having a TV or a radio on can make it seem like the universe keeps existing outside. Series of tubes. Did we make most communication technology just so we wouldn't be alone with ourselves? Is it possible that we are such terrifying creatures, even to ourselves, that we wouldn't want to be with ourselves? And maybe that's why God hasn't talked to us in a while. He's terrified of us. These black pages are often my favorite. Every now and then I like to look at a piece of paper, selling something, maybe even in another language that I won't understand, just for the heck of it. And there's so many things in here, I just don't freaking know what they are. Okay, no brake pads, I know shock pedals, manifolds. Okay, so I'm not sure what this is. Is this just the piece that sits on the top of an engine? Okay, I know what camshafts are. Add leaf. Huh. Most domestic trucks. Do we still use these? America's fastest way to become a millionaire. Marry one. In the time machine, what we do is go back. Auto racing labeled unsafe. Yeah, but it's fun. Nothing fun is safe. What are you talking about? Hello, Dolly. Sleek Fairy. Okay. All right. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for me. Now from Naz Tac Bets. Like and subscribe if you like stuff. Is always appreciated. And as always, folks, take care of each other. Feel free to leave a comment. Bust my balls. I'm a computer tech. I don't know much about this stuff.